people think that it's important to confirm that debris from the aircraft that hit the World Trade Center on 9/11 actually impacted the building that now will house the mosque. I had a couple of sources here confirming it. One is the Houston Chronicle. That morning, the terrorists attacked hijacked Airlines Flight 175 as part of their attack on the World Trade Center Twin Towers. They crashed a plane into the South Tower at 9:03, triggering the tower's destruction. Hours later, the plane penetrated through the tower. Part of the plane's landing gear and fuselage came out the north side of the tower, crashed through the roof of 4547 Park Place, and through two of its floors. That's the building we're talking about. The plane destroyed, parts destroyed the 3 floor beams and severely compromised the building's internal structure. The New York Times also has it in a story on July 13th about Rick Lazio opposing the mosque. Now, it is an important point. If debris from the plane hit that building, then of course you are talking about ground zero, not 2 blocks away from it. But I mean, even at that, I mean, this is really a no-brainer. You get caught up. Yeah, sure, they have the right to do it. I mean, if you can get the variances, if you can get within the ordinances, everybody knows that. This is not a do you have the right. This is what's the real reason here. What's going on? Why are we bending over backwards here? What is the point? Why are we trying to make everybody think what happened is our fault and somehow we have to make amends? From the OttawaCitizen.com. Mischief in Manhattan. We Muslims know the Ground Zero Mosque is meant to be a deliberate provocation by Raheel Raza and Tarek Fatah. Raheel Raza, the author of Their Jihad, Not My Jihad, and Tariq Fatah, author of The Jew Is Not My Enemy, to be launched in October. Both sit on the board of the Muslim Canadian Congress. They write, last week, a journalist who writes for the North Country Times, small newspaper, Southern California, sent us an email titled Help. He couldn't understand why an Islamic center in an area where Adam Gaddan, Osama bin Laden's American spokesman, came from, and that was the home to 3 of the 9/11 terrorists, was looking to expand. The man had a very valid point, which leads to the ongoing debate about building a mosque at Ground Zero in New York. When we try to understand the reasoning behind building a mosque at the epicenter of the worst ever attack on the U.S., we wonder why its proponents don't build a monument to those who died in the attack. New York currently boasts at least 30 mosques, so it's not as if there is pressing need to find space for worshipers. The fact that we Muslims know the idea behind the Ground Zero Mosque is meant to be a deliberate provocation to thumb our noses at the infidel. The proposal has been made in bad faith, and in Islamic parlance, such an act is referred to as fitna, meaning mischief-making, that is clearly forbidden in the Quran. The Quran commands Muslims to be considerate when you debate with people of the book, i.e. Jews and Christians. Building an exclusive place of worship for Muslims at the place where Muslims killed thousands of New Yorkers is not being considerate or sensitive. It is undoubtedly an act of fitna. So what gives Imam Faisal Abdul Rauf of the Cordoba Initiative and his cohorts the misplaced idea that they will increase tolerance for Muslims by brazenly displaying their own intolerances in this case? Do they not understand that building a mosque at Ground Zero is equivalent to permitting a Serbian Orthodox church near the killing fields of Srebrenica, where 8,000 Muslim men and boys were slaughtered? There are many questions that we would like to ask, questions about where the funding is coming from. If this mosque is being funded by Saudi sources, then it's an even bigger slap in the face of Americans, as 9 of the hijackers, the Twin Tower calamity, were Saudis. If Rauf is serious about building bridges, then he could have dedicated space in this so-called community center to a church and synagogue, but he didn't. We passed on this message to him through a mutual Saudi friend, but received no answer. He could have proposed a memorial to the 9/11 dead with a denouncement of the doctrine of armed jihad, but he chose not to. It's a repugnant thought that $100 million would be brought into the United States rather than be directed at dying and needy Muslims in Darfur or Pakistan. That's an interesting point. Muslims around the world are going to fund this place with $100 million rather than take care of other Muslims dying or in need. Let's not forget that a mosque is an exclusive place of worship for Muslims and not an inviting community center. Most Americans are wary of mosques due to the hardcore rhetoric that's used in pulpits, and rightly so. As Muslims, we are dismayed that our co-religionists have such little consideration for their fellow citizens and wish to rub salt in their wounds and pretend that they're applying a balm to soothe the pain. If this mosque does get built, it will forever be a lightning rod for those who have little room for Muslims or Islam in the U.S. We simply cannot understand why on earth the traditional leadership of America's Muslims would not realize their folly and back out in an act of goodwill. And for those teary-eyed, bleeding-heart liberals such as New York Mayor Michael Bloomburg and much of the media who are blind to the Islamist agenda in North America, we understand their goodwill. Unfortunately for us, their stand is based on ignorance and guilt, and they will never in their lives have to face the tyranny of Islamism that targets, kills, and maims Muslims worldwide and is using liberalism itself to destroy liberal, secular, democratic societies from within. That's a couple Muslims writing in the Canadian press, admitting that this is deliberately provocative. And, of course, Hamas. A leader of the Hamas terror group, this is in the New York Post today. A leader of the Hamas terror group yesterday jumped into the emotional debate on the plan to construct a mosque near Ground Zero, insisting Muslims have to build it there. We have to build everywhere, said Mahmoud al-Zahar, the co-founder of Hamas and the organization's chief on the Gaza Strip. In every area we have, as Muslims, we have to pray. And this mosque is the only site of prayer. And he said this on WABC Radio, our flagship station in New York. There are, the numbers vary, 30, 50, I don't know, but there are a lot of mosques in New York City. And Mr. Faisal Abdul Rauf is the imam for a mosque. It's only 12 blocks away from Ground Zero, as it is now. Why isn't that close enough for community outreach? We have to build a mosque as you are allowed to build a church, and Israelis are building their holy places. Well, yeah, allowed in the United States, but not in most Muslim countries. How easy is it to get a synagogue up in Saudi Arabia? Is there one? Hamas, he added, is representing the vast majority of the Arabic and Islamic world, especially the Islamic side. Zahar said Muslims around the world, including those who live in this country, are united in a common cause. That's very true. That's too true. First of all, we have to address that we are different as people, as a nation, totally different. And we would agree, folks, you and I. We already are living under the tradition of Islam. Islam is controlling every source of our life as regard to marriage, divorce, our commercial relationships. Well, even the Islamic people, or the Muslims in your country, they are living now in the tradition of Islam. They are fasting, they are praying. This is another thing that Obama and Hamas agree on, folks. Indeed, just like Hamas, Obama believes Muslims should be allowed to build a mosque at Ground Zero, but that Israelis cannot be permitted to build houses on their own land. I mean, there you go. And the rude treatment that Bibi Netanyahu got at the White House over the building of these settlements. Now, Obama has since done a walk back on that, but as we get closer to the election. But still, it was all about sensitivity. Well, some people are offended at those settlements. It's not good for the peace process. Well, there are a whole lot of people, sensibilities, offended at the idea of a mosque at Ground Zero. I have some friends who lost a son. They are beside themselves. None of it makes any sense. They don't understand why we can't even rebuild a place. They don't understand why The people that did what they did are not considered our enemy. They don't understand any of it. They don't understand all the outrage of the people responsible for this.